one's called Sea Foam. You're choking on salt water, hacking up oceans and swallowing rivers, and your bones are swimming in it too. And you think, maybe I could live with this. But you're Pandora's box in a parallel universe, and the catch is that you're everything bubbling beneath the lid, except for hope. Breathe. Only the air is slipping out of your cells like rain sticking to eyelashes before it falls away, carving a path down your cheek like the incessant erratic thumping of your heart carves a ridge down your ribcage, pressing and pressing until it feels like you might burst out the brittle shell that holds you together. Breathe. Your lungs are heavy with salt water, and there's a fist clamped around your chest with cold fingers squeezing like a vice, clawing up your throat with blunt nails until your mouth tastes like copper in the sea. And maybe your body feels like a reservoir, too full and too changeable. Breathe. Only you can't. And you're lying in wet grass, sinking, squelching, thinking that if you were empty, maybe you'd stop choking, thinking that if you were filled with nothing but air, it would be impossible, improbable, and inconceivable for you to suffocate. So that when you stand up, there are galaxies behind your eyelids, and for once it feels like you are swimming in an interstellar stream instead of always existing beneath the surface. Breathe. I'm 14 and my heart is bursting with salt water. It starts in trembling fingers and goes on for miles, and there's no bright light, no magnetism, no mystical plug to pull away and drain it out. Just cold tiles and more salt water until I'm spluttering, and there's just enough space to breathe again. So I drag in air like there's gold dust clinging to every particle, weightless and precious. I'm 18 and my body is the sea. I come and go over tide, and I am inconstant with every change of the moon, crescent, quarter, full, empty. My blood coagulates to make me a natural disaster. Touch me, and I will drown you from the inside out. I will sink my nails into your ankles, and I will hold you down. I am the wave that stings your back, that makes you wish you never set foot in a lake. Breathe. Wait for the day that you can, the day your airways expand, and thick air will whisper life into your veins, and it will feel like enough. There will be 100 pricks all over your chest where you've become a pincushion of flesh and feeling, and you will deflate. You will tell yourself that you're a Nereid, daughter of the sea, and some of us are born of sea foam for bones. This next one is unfinished as of yet, but it's quite long already, so I'm going to read about half of it. It doesn't have a name and is a great example of how I can't rhyme, so don't rhyme. You were young and I was younger. The iridescent glow of youth etched between ourselves, vibrating beneath our skin as we felt a pulsating ache for something more significant than the adolescent sphere in which we had found ourselves that summer. I remember our backs sinking into the grass, each blade crushed beneath us thoughtlessly, pressed flat under the weight of our midsummer dreams, the continuous hope that each day would be better, the next sunset sweeter and warmer. That before winter caught up, I might see the same sunrise with only you for company. Feet dangling out the window, I used to imagine you sprawled carelessly next to me, fields licking at the very edges of the world and dousing it in rapeseed yellow, blanketed by a sky that displaces the stars and makes the moon lose itself in the early hours. Coloured like candy floss, it bleeds and splatters us in July hues, and I'll rack my brain for a word more beautiful than pink to describe the way it leaves a shade of serenity in my chest, while it lights you up like the romantic I thought you could be, half magic and wholly enigmatic. I wanted to know every callus of your hand, and where you bruise most easily. I wanted the same deep-reaching, vein-tangling feeling, that power that you always held over me, like a noose woven of 2 a.m. texts and a string of I love yous. I love you so much. I'm drunk and I love you. And it's true that you were young, but I was so much younger, and I found myself wanting to curl up in all the gaps you had shown me. Let me believe they were mine to take, to belong and exist within. I don't love you anymore, but I might have once. And I wonder if I would have loved somebody else more, in ways we could never give to each other, if I'd never seen you between the bookshelves, grinning and self-assured and absolutely nothing that I was looking for. But in the end, absolutely everything. At least it felt like everything when we were stretched out, lying beside each other, our limbs upside down and disjointed, all unfamiliar angles and jutting out bones that we didn't know anymore. But the air was thick, sticky as treacle and dripping, pulling us back together like two lost children, ragged and torn up beneath our flesh, or maybe that was just me. And in those minutes staring at the ceiling with your heat radiating into my side, hot and insistent without meaning to be. I was back on my windowsill as the sun rose, my legs dangling above the ground, hoping we could be a Baroque pop indie romance.